Okay, so Wednesday night. Wednesday night was the night of light and love, and I wanted to mention also one of the main things that I experienced Wednesday night was a lot of yawning, and not just like regular yawning, but yawning like I couldn't catch my breath, or that it just wasn't your normal yawning. You know, when you try to catch your breath if you're running or something, that's one thing. But this was like I was like sucking in all the air from the planet and then letting it go. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is part of what I learned on Thursday night, which is coming up. But so the yawning is a type of purging. So not all purgings are, seemingly terrible. You can yawn. I think they said there are 70 forms of purging. I maybe can think of 5, but so yawning is one of them, and I did that a lot on Wednesday night. And so you heard mostly about Wednesday night. At the end, my friend didn't feel well. Her stomach, she felt nauseous and a little dizzy. So I waited for her a little bit at the end. There was a very nice gentleman. I think his name was Ryan he's from down the shore in Jersey. And he was so nice. He stayed too, and he tried to, get her water and try to make her feel better. But she chose to stay and just lay in the bed for a little while. And I went back to the room after a while, and I think she came back to the room an hour after I did. So I went back to the room, I think maybe about 3:15, 3:30ish, and I was sleeping by the time that she got home. Again, we slept in the next day and just enjoyed our day, did whatever we wanted to. There are day classes, and they do say that some of them are mandatory. And the reason why they say that is because they've developed a program there at Rhythmia where they don't guarantee a miracle, but they said something like they have 99.7% miracle rate or something, that people report that they've had miracles. And I believe I had a miracle. But that rate goes down by about 30% for people who don't do all of these classes. Now, I really wish I would have done all the classes, but balancing that with self-care and doing what I felt like my body needed and wanted out of the experience is what I had to do. So I chose to skip some of the classes, and so I think I skipped all of the non-mandatory classes and also some of the mandatory classes. Anyway, so that brings us to Thursday, and Thursday was the last night of the last ceremony. And Thursday is supposed to be the big day, which was a little scary because Tuesday night was such a big day, or a big night for everyone. I think it was a little shocking how, I don't want to say out of control, but how affected a lot of people were by that mixture. So that night might have been a little stronger than they anticipated. And so to hear that Thursday night was a big night was certainly cause for curiosity, let's say, a little anticipation. And but everybody was ready, and that night started at 6:30. And the reason for that is that it wasn't supposed to end until 9:00 the next morning. The couple that we spoke to who were there the week before us said they didn't last until 9 a.m. their week. They were home by like 2 or 3 o'clock. So we thought, maybe this is just an exaggeration. Maybe they just say that just in case. And, they say, well, it's done when it's done. And you don't really understand what that means or why that is, or, why they highly suggest you stay in the Maloka with everyone. But after Thursday night, I understood, and you'll understand a little bit better when I explain what happened. So Thursday night was a guest shaman. He comes from Colombia. I should have had his name prepared for you, but I didn't. So you can look it up in Rhythmia, or maybe I can add it to the description later when I think about it. But so this was a special night. Women with who were on their period were not able to attend because they say that a menstruating woman is very powerful and can block some of the shaman's abilities. And so they weren't able, so I was very glad that I was able to participate and in this special evening. So we line up. This night is a little different. You line up and you tell the shaman what is your intention. And then when you do that, then the shaman directs someone to bring you to a specific bed or a specific location. And you're in group 1, 2, or 3. 1 was the area that we had stayed in the previous nights. 2 was the main area where the shaman sits. I think I'm going to sneeze. And 3, excuse me, was the opposite area from where we were. So 1, 2, and 3. And so we line up and we notice that there are specific beds that are reserved for people with their name on it. So we didn't know what this was about. So we're curious. Look at this. These beds are reserved, and they were reserved in the main room and mainly reserved by the door or near the shamans. So we waited in line. This process takes a while because there's 90 people. And so when I got up there, I told the shaman that my intention for the evening was to understand how to share my light. Because by this point, I felt like I had the lesson that I am light and love. And, during the day in this beautiful environment where everything is seemingly perfect, like heaven, I'm walking around, woohoo, I'm on cloud 9, just walking around like I am light and love. And so I decided that would be my intention for the evening. How best to shine my light in the world. And so he said my mantra that I should ask for is, I ask to bloom. I should ask to bloom. So I think I'm blooming. Bloom where you plant it. And so I did that. And then I was brought to the first section where my bed was the first 3 nights. And I was a little bummed because I thought, I wouldn't get my bed again. But they brought me over and she just said, pick anywhere you would like. Oh, yay, I get my bed. So I got my bed. But my friend went up and she asked what her intention was. She told the shaman, and the shaman directed the helper to put her in section 2, and which was the middle, and a specific bed. She didn't like that bed. So while everyone else was in line, we talked, and I said, well, go to that other bed, try that other bed, see if they notice. But no, after a while they noticed, and they said, go back to your bed. Someone else is going in this bed. So that was kind of curious. So I wasn't sure how I would do being by myself, right? I mean, my friend and I didn't interact very much, certainly not on the beds, because it's a very private experience you're having yourself, even though there are people right next to you, close to you. And but it was different. So I didn't know how that would affect my evening. But you'll find out soon.